are expected to follow the government's 10 guiding principle of ideology. If you mispronounce a word during these recitations or pause in wrong place, you could be accused of rebellion. Kim Sung's two name appears in all 10 of these principles, not once, but multiple times. Every television set in the country is hardwired to state-run media, like Korean Central Television. People can't switch channels. In fact, trying to tune into foreign broadcast is a punishable offense. Even imported TV have built-in block that prevent channel modification. Bicycles. Yes, even they require license plates and registration. You can't ride one legally without passing a road safety test and getting a government-issued cycling license. Wearing clothes with foreign logos, slogans or flags is banned. It's seen as a threat to national identity. The regime wants citizens to embody a purely North Korean image. Even tourists are subjected to extreme control. Visitors must be accompanied by an official guide at all times and are restricted to approved locations only. Tourists cannot speak to local freely, and taking candid photographs is often forbidden. Interviewing a North Korean citizen without approval, that's a serious violation. While mobile phones and computers are technically allowed, they are subject to constant inspections. USB drives and storage devices are regularly checked. If they find foreign films, music or content, the penalties can be harsh. One of the most disturbing systems in North Korea is called songbun, a caste-like classification of all citizens. From the moment a child is born, their status in life is determined by their family's history. This status defines their future, where they can live, what jobs they can have, even what food they can eat. There are three major classes under songbun. The core class, those whose ancestors fought for Kim Sung-II or served in the Korean War. These are seen as the most loyal. They get better education, high-ranking jobs, and are allowed to live in Pyongyang. They are even permitted to own cars, sometimes nearly impossible for other citizens. The second social tier in North Korea is known as Wavering or Dangyo Kichong. These citizens live in a grey area. Their families have no heroic history, but also no political crimes. Most are descended from farmers, laborers or civil workers who did not oppose the state but did not serve it either. They are allowed modest privilege, not luxury, but enough to survive in the middle of North Korea's strict class system. Then comes the lowest tier, the hostile class called Juktai Kichung. These are people whose ancestors once followed a religion that ties to South Korea or were suspected of disloyalty. They are branded enemies of the regime, even if they have done nothing wrong in their lifetime. These individuals are assigned the hardest jobs, from street sweeping to sanitation and manual labor. But that's just the beginning. Utilities like water, gas, and electricity are tightly rationed and closely monitored. The state controls everything, and so they know how much you use and when. Military service mandatory. Even North Korean, male or female, is drafted into the military at the age of 17. The minimum service period is staggering 10 years. When a member of the King dynasty dies or on their official death anniversaries, public mourning is not optional. People are expected to cry in public. Those who don't, labeled suspicious. Every home is required to display portrait of King Sung-II and King Jong-il. These are not just decorations, they are symbol of elegance, and citizens are responsible for keeping these portraits clean, spotless. In fact, children are even taught to memorize and recite long speeches given by both leaders as part of their education. That's how deeply indoctrinated life is. Even time works differently in North Korea. They don't follow the Gregorian calendar. Instead, they use the Jewish calendar, which starts in 1912, the year Kim Sung-II was born. That's make 2025 the year Jewish 113. But why is North Korea so isolated from the rest of the world? First, the regime fears exposure. That if people discover the freedoms others enjoy, they will rise up. That's why foreign travel media and open interest are completely banned. Second, decades of international sanctions, largely due to the country's aggressive nuclear weapons program, have cut it off even further. It's worth noting that some of these rules may have changed for better or worse, but the truth is, real-time updates are almost impossible. Much of what the world knows about North Korea comes from brave dictators who managed to escape since 1953. Some information has also come from satellite imagery and secretly smuggled footage saved onto USB drives and carried across the Chinese border. If you found this video insightful, we would appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and share. Your kind feedback keeps us going. Thanks for watching HnW, and we will see you again in our next deep dive documentary.